Hey, so I'm really bored as usual, and I figured that I would show you stuff that I love. So let's start with the most important thing to me in my whole entire life, my iPod. This thing, I live off of it. I cannot function a whole day through school without it. I'll just seriously. Anyway, and then this is my favorite type of pen in the whole entire world. It writes like an angel. It's amazing. It looks ordinary, but it's not. And these are my glasses. I don't really like them that much, but other people do. And I'm seriously virtually blind without them. This is my favorite ring. It's blingy. And yeah. This is my favorite book of my whole entire life. It's my Bible. No lie. I cannot function without reading this book at least like once a month. I will reread it and reread it until I die. I'm not kidding. And this is also my life, my journal. I write everything that happens to me down in this journal. It makes my life sound epic. Plus, I really want to be able to look back at stuff that I'm doing now and see what a tard I was. And just, I want to be able to remember everything. And this is my favorite perfume ever. Moonlit Path from Bath and Body or something like that, whatever. And it's the most amazing flavor ever, and people are into me. Anyway, and yeah, so I don't really know what else to talk about. But let's see. Oh, what am I gonna be for Halloween? I still haven't extremely decided. I think I'm gonna be something like a fairy. But I was like a fairy last year. And that was like one of the best nights of my life. Not kidding. But anyway, I think maybe an elf though, because I had these really cool black and white striped socks, and they're like, and I love them. And then I get a black tutu, and I feel like badass, and yeah. Anyway, other than that, what else? Oh, I could read a story that I wrote, because it's a short story, and it's really good, and I'm really proud of it. So that's what I think I'm going to do, if it'll open, which it doesn't sometimes. It's wackadoodle. Wow, this thing is all messed up. Where is it? There we go. Consequence. Called Consequence. Okay. I had to start. I take this class called creative writing, and I had to write a short story starting with the line, "He thought he was safe," and so this is my story. Okay, it's called Consequence. He thought he was safe, although he didn't care if he wasn't. Nothing of importance was ever safe. His room wasn't safe, his mind wasn't safe, and Lena hadn't been safe. That fact was obvious, painfully obvious by the silence of her absence. No more waterfall laughter resonating through his room. No more 3 a.m. conversations about the shimmer of the stars and how toasters look like robots. No more heartbeat happily beating to match his. No second chance to save her. She should have been safe. It was his fault she hadn't been. Tucker squeezed his topaz eyes shut, attempting to block out everything but the memory of her face. The delicate curve of her bottom lip, the angelic sweep of her cheekbones, the long dark lashes her denim eyes constantly hid behind. She had been his angel, his everything, and now she'd been taken from him. He had taken her from himself. His mind involuntarily flashed to a night not so long ago. The heady smell of a sinner's drink and the smoke of cigarettes and otherwise permeated his memory. Obnoxious overtures of pure bass and lyrics assaulted his unwilling ears. Confident words and inebriated laughter spewed from his mouth like vomit from his wingman. In this state, he was supposed to keep her safe. Her slender hips slid easily beneath his questing hand as he guided her through the crowd and fog. She glanced up to look at him. Her smile absorbed her entire face. His goofy grin was no match. She, like him, was oblivious to the scene around them. She just handled it more carefully. Except for when the colored lights, the only two every teenager dreaded and was programmed to avoid, swept through the foggy windows, accompanied by a familiar piercing whir, and so the chaos began. Screams and spills littered the air and halls. Her hand clutched for his, running as she did. His hearty laughter mixed with hers as they charged out the back door into the sobering air, though not quite sobering enough. Running and stumbling as they went, the edge of the pavement met their unsure feet a mile through the woods. His gleaming pickup truck sat valiantly waiting in the moonshine. A key was clumsily brought forth as they panted together in the chill. Before he slid the key to its rightful place in the door, his eyes danced to her eager face. Her smile sent shivers through his uncoordinated body. He took her chin in his hand and leaned to match his lips to hers. No matter how intoxicated, he never missed. She wove her fingers into his honey blonde hair, breathing him in as they continued. He pulled back, cupping her head and back, and pulled her into his chest, held her, then reluctantly turned to put the key in its place. She scrambled to the passenger side as he turned the ignition. His fingers felt for hers as he pulled off the curb. Speeding already. Dark green shapes blurred past them as the tires ate up the back roads. Twists and turns sent their minds into nirvana, a mental roller coaster, but Tucker's derailed. Screeching tires bled into Lena's scream. They were spiraling out of nature's control. The sound of her threatened shriek was the most sobering sound that had ever assaulted his ears. He fought with all his power to control the sliding monster as the steering wheel spun beneath his mere mortal hands. A soul-jarring stop and glass-shattering sounded simultaneously as Tucker's mind was thrown into darkness. His consciousness returned to the drip of gasoline and a choking iron smell. Tucker's stomach turned, knowing what produced it. As his eyes cleared, half his vision was obstructed by pavement, the other half full of Lena's wide eyes, frantic in her horror. He struggled to get up and help her, but was struck by white-hot pain in his left leg. They had been thrown far from the twisted heap of metal he once claimed to be his truck. Now it was entirely unrecognizable. Fortunately, the pain and urgency of Lena's stare was much more powerful than the pain in his leg. He pulled himself up to a sitting position and took her head into his lap, stroking her blood-soaked mahogany tresses that had once smelled of lilacs, but now reeked the sickly stench of an early funeral. Her whimpers tore at his heart. "Tucker," she pleaded, her voice weak and distant. "Shh," he whispered thickly. "You'll be okay, baby. You'll be okay." He rocked her gently, continuing to stroke her hair as her breathing gradually slowed and eventually stopped, his tears mixing with her blood. That's an extremely depressing story, I just realized. I'm sorry I had to put you people through that. But I thought it was really good, so I read it, as that just happened. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking now. So, I hope you enjoyed my depressing story. Bye.